Okay, I'm gonna try and not look there because that's where my screen is, so I can see what I'm seeing. Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good day. So in this video I wanted to talk more about supply teaching and in particular agencies with supply teaching. So for those who don't know, I graduated at the University of Greenwich doing primary education at University of Greenwich. So today, yeah, like I said, I wanted to do a video today about agencies. I would say the first thing to do before signing up to a teaching agency is just, to be fair, I guess agencies in general, but in particular because I am in the education sphere, is to just know what you want from it. Do you want to do long term? Do you want to do day to day? Do you want short term supply? Just understanding, maybe even, do you want to do supply teaching so you're able to get a permanent role, or do you just want to do supply teaching in general? Because I know that a lot of teachers now are getting more into day-to-day supply instead of having a permanent role. But I do also know those who are doing day-to-day who want a permanent role. So just to understand that agency can do both for you. If you just want to do supply, you can just do supply. If you want supply and able to get a permanent role, you should talk to your agency. They'll be able to get to that for you. So what's the difference between long-term and short-term supply? So short-term supply is kind of like, to my understanding, it's like day-to-day, but I kind of thought it would always be kind of like a week, but I guess it is kind of like day-to-day. So with short-term, it might just be like a day or two or a week in one school and then a different week in another school, or a few days in one school and a few days in a different school. But long-term supply is more like, oh, you're going to spend like a whole month or a whole term in one school. You might spend 2 months in one school. You might spend a whole year in one school, but that school might not have you as permanent, but you're still under the agency, but you might spend that long period of time in that school. So I guess you need to think about what you would prefer. Would you prefer short term, where it's just like day to day in and out, or would you prefer long term, where you might have some additional responsibilities dependent on what you have spoken about with your agents? In my experience, I have done long term and short term, and my responsibilities have differed. Like in long term, sometimes I have spent time planning resources. During long term supply, I was also attending meetings and trainings, which I didn't do when I was doing day to day because I was just in and out. I just marked the learning and then I was out. So it depends on what you want. Do you want more long term? Do you want to spend more time in the school? Do you want to stay in that school for that long period of time, or would you prefer day to day, you're in and you're out? I would say they both have benefits. Day to day, you don't have, if you have extra responsibilities outside it, you don't have to focus so much on, oh, you need to plan this, oh, you need to mark this, oh, you haven't done this yet, because you're just in and out. So you're able to spend more time on other things outside of supply teaching. But I guess if you're doing more long term, it's good because you're able to kind of at least become more familiar with the children that you're teaching. You're able to get more familiar with the school, the environment. You're able to kind of immerse yourself in the culture more. I guess also it's good because if they do have a permanent role and you do want that, you're I guess more likely to get a permanent role there because they know you. You might also get the opportunity to just gain more experience, gain more stuff that you can put in your personal statement, your CV. In terms of knowing what you want from supply teaching, it's also important to know what year group you want to be in, because you can either be in the early EYFS, which is just like nursery reception, or even if you want to be in year 1 or year 2, or if you want to be in the older year groups, year 4, year 5, year 6. You need to kind of figure out what year groups you might want to be in. But to be fair, if you don't know, the agency is fine with just giving you anywhere. Even like just supply teaching can help you in knowing what year group you prefer. But it's also important to know that even if you decide, if you told agency, okay, I just want short term in year 5 classes, that's it, you can always change it. Like, you're not just stuck in year 5, or you're not always just stuck during short term. If you want to do long term and then move to short term, you can do that. If you want to do vice versa, you can do that. Agency is flexible. Supply teaching is flexible. In terms of picking agency, I would say it's really important to maybe talk, ask around, see who else is a part of agency. Would they recommend that? You also should do your research, maybe call them, see what are their expectations and what are their expectations, what is their pay like, what locations do they work with. You can also do reviews. I guess if you look at some reviews online, seeing what the agency is like and whether or not you want to work with that agency. It is, in terms of that as well, it's also really, really important to think about your pay. Ask about pay. What is the pay like? What's the starting pay like? And depending on what role you had before, like, was you a student teacher, a trainee, was you do you have like 50 years experience? That would also change the pay that you would get from agency. So it's important to just talk to your agencies, talk to different agencies, know how much they pay, talk to people that you know who are doing supply, ask them, oh, what is the pay like? And that will kind of inform your decision on whether you want to be with that agency or whether you want to do a different agency. And it will also kind of help you with negotiation. It is also important to know that when you're applying to agencies, know what do you want to do. Do you want to do teaching assistant? Do you want to do one-to-one? Do you want to do just normal supply classroom teacher? So what's the difference? So with one-to-one would be kind of like, you work with that particular child. Maybe they have a SEN need. You usually work with one particular child throughout the day, or you might work with a few children throughout the day, just following them and helping them in their learning in particular. Usually then with one-to-ones, you might go to different parts of the school. Maybe you're in certain provision for that day. Maybe you just help that child go from A to B. Maybe you're with them during lunch. You can also be in that classroom with the class teacher, but sometimes you and that child might, because that child might have a different plan to the rest of the class, you would work with that child and follow their plan throughout the day. But usually with the one-to-one, you are not teaching the whole class, but you're just focused on that one child. That's different to a teaching assistant, where you might be placed in one classroom and you're supporting the teacher and supporting the children in the class with their learning. With teaching, class teacher, supply teaching, if you're doing teacher role, you will, like the title says, teach the whole class. You will do the marketing, teach your lessons, help support the children in their learning throughout the day. So yeah, that's kind of like the difference between supply teaching, the assistant and teaching assistant, and one-to-one role. So knowing that will kind of inform what kind of role do you want. Do you want to be the teaching assistant? Do you want to be a supply one-to-one? Do you want to be a supply teacher? Do you want to work in certain area? Because that's another factor. Do you want to work in this area of London? Do you want to work in this area? Do you want to work in this area? Do you want to work in this area? I hope this has helped you figure out what questions to ask when dealing with agencies. I hope it's also helped you understand, okay, this is what you want to do and this is what you want to get out of when doing supply teaching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this has actually been helpful and informative. I hope you have a really good day, and see you.